Hello and welcome to the Triple Trio, your weekly look at all things Hong Kong racing. Bit of a different look to this week's show. Jason Richardson taking a sabbatical, James Tzaferis in his place. But a couple of our favourites, as they are each and every week, in the hot seat. First of all, Clint Hutchison. Hutchie, good to be alongside you.
Yeah, and good to have you back, JT. So you're looking sharp, looking good, refreshed. How have you been?
Yeah, really good, mate. Good to be back in Melbourne and good to be putting the blinkers on and looking at Hong Kong racing this week. Yeah, filling the seat for a man that, it's fair to say, he likes a party and he likes to get over and enjoy these big racing carnivals, Richo, and he's doing just that.
He does get around, yes. He's in Western Australia, for those who are wondering where Richo is. He's at the Quokka. Like, he does get around. It was a race that wasn't around when our co-presenter Shane Dye was riding.
Yeah, absolutely. Dysey, good to be with you, mate, as we welcome you into the show.
Thank you.
I reckon they must be paying Richo a little bit more than what Hutchie and the team can afford if we don't have him here.
I actually thought he was in America trying to get Floyd Mayweather to come and fight here or something. Now that he's an entrepreneur, a sportsman who gets all these great sportsmen to Australia. But no, he's in Perth enjoying himself like he normally does. And he's just getting bigger and bigger, isn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Seamus here's not growing,
like you
mate.
Said, Shane, he's certainly got a few things on the go, Jason Richardson. And talking of a side hustle, you're a man who does a little bit on the side as well. For those who don't know, of course, Tzaferis Racing had a winner during the week. So congratulations. We've got some footage here of your winner too. Don't know if you saw this one, Shane, but he was strapping, he was doing it all, James, and absolutely bolted. We didn't get the tip, but anyway, well done.
Yeah, I can't take too much credit for it, Hutch. My lovely wife, Jess, obviously dual licence holder. She's out of the saddle at the moment for a very good reason. We're expecting our first child a little bit later this year, but they're still very busy training and, good to get Exotic Dancer over the line. I'm open to calls.
Exotic Dancer?
Yeah,
how did you name that?
We didn't name it, Shane. It came to us as a tried horse. Her stable name. Yeah. Well, we could have come up with something fun for a stable name. We went with
Was it bringing back memories for you?
Shane probably would have been best to give her a stable name.
Well, he does live on the Gold Coast. I'm sure there's a few up there, but no, congratulations anyway. Yeah, like I said, if any Hong Kong trained horses want to come back, there's your man.
The benchmark 58 form at Balaclava can be a bit hit and miss, but I'm not ruling out a clash with Kai Ying Rising a little bit later this year.
You've got a dream. You've got a dream.
Absolutely. Hey, big show coming up. We're going to talk about much faster horses than Exotic Dancer, thankfully. Hutch, all our favourites coming up. And I guess one of the storylines that's going to be a key sort of theme through tonight's episode and also over the coming weeks in Hong Kong is this battle for the trainers' premiership, and it is really hotting up.
It is. And, Danny Shum, of course, with a treble during the week. He's got his horses firing on all cylinders. I mean, I must admit, I'm guilty. I thought probably Mark and Casper were going to kick away from the field, but all of a sudden, Shane, Danny on the back of this 3-time, and he's got some horses there that are ready to win. He's definitely right in the fray as well.
Yeah, definitely. I wrote a story during the week for Idle Horse about all the trainers, and Danny's got the best coverage of horses out of anyone. And what I mean by that, a nice class 1, not too many, nice class 5. He hasn't got many new horses that aren't going to run. He's got a lot of horses, but he hasn't got that horse that can win 3 or 4. When I did it, I actually thought Casper and Mark stood out, and one of those will be winning, I would say.
Well, Hazy's also not too far behind on 44. So it is, I really enjoyed every year. I mean, the Trainers' Championship's obviously competitive most years.
Yep.
But not so much the jockey ranks, because when Moreira left, Zach dominated. But this is up for grabs. I reckon any one of the top 4 there will think they've got a good chance.
Plenty coming up on today's episode of the Triple Trio. Of course, we're going to find some winners at Sha Tin on Sunday. Star power, well, you mentioned the Jockey's Premiership. One man that is riding plenty of winners is Andrea Atzeni. We're going to have a chat to him.
Yeah, he's flying, absolutely flying, Andrea. So it'd be great to chat to him. He's got a full book on the weekend as well.
Your form files, the Idol, Social Stable, it's all coming up on the Triple Trio. But let's kick it off. Sundays for racing in Hong Kong. Let's find some winners. Well, we're going to go straight to the last race on the card, race number 11, and kick things off here, Hutch, in this 1,800 metre contest where the Derby looks a prevailing form reference with a couple of horses here.
It does, and I've got something coming out of the Derby on top in Seraph Gabriel. He needs to turn up, but Pacha Cosmo is the other horse coming out of that race. Gentleman Legacy's been in good form, and Winning Wing brings that Group 1 form. No doubt he will be very popular on the back of a pretty good trial recently. I didn't mind this run from Seraph Gabriel. Look, there wasn't much between them in the Derby. There's just the weight turnaround, Shane, here of 10 pounds, and I think he's sort of been pretty well treated. It was a high rating race, this for me, and we see Derby form often, can come out and prove pretty well, particularly, I think, at this level.
Yeah, well, he pushed forward in this day and sat outside the leader, or not sat outside, he raced off it, but it was a good run. He kept boxing on. This horse is going really well down the outside, Stunning Peach. He's racing really well, Clint. I know he ran nowhere the other day, but it was just too hard a race. It was over a mile. Lucky Sway Ness won. He's going to bounce back in this race over 1,800. Third horse went well, Car Ying Generation, but he just keeps whacking away, Clint.
Yep, he's a bit one pace. Stunning Peach, I think, can bounce back. It's an easier race, like you said, Shane, and I think going back to the mile, as you mentioned, didn't really suit him the other day. So Angus carries a bit more weight on Stunning Peach, given the sort of dropping grade effectively. Competitive race, though. It really is, JT. There's quite a few horses in there with a chance.
What about a horse like Winning Wing, who is another that brings some top class form out of a Group 1?
Well, Shane, this is you'd have to argue this is the premier form.
Oh, 100%. Romantic Warrior. What else? And My Wish, Voyage, Bubble, they're all in it. And he went really, really well. He's raced so well last season. This is a horse earlier in the season when I said last season I had him going above 90 and he was only in the 60s, and he's done it this year. He's going to be very hard to beat. He trialled the other day. Here's his trial. I didn't think your tip, Clint, trialled as well as I thought he could. He trialled all right. It wasn't bad because it's only 1,200. But he did have a little bit of a push out. Winning Wing, you can see, is just making ground up on him effortlessly. Both of them have got good chances, Clint.
Yeah, I agree with what you said, everything you said. I was a little bit disappointed in Seraph Gabriel's trial, but Winning Wing seemed to go better. But you also sort of have to weigh up the difference, I suppose, in weight carried this weekend. But there's no knock on Winning Wing whatsoever. He is absolutely flying. And of course, this is another form reference here with Joy of Spring, Sky Heart, a couple of the Founds pair. Well, Casper's got his horses absolutely flying. And how did you sort of think they could run here, Shane? It's a little bit of a step up, I suppose.
It's a step up, but I thought Sky Heart ran really well because he was gone at the turn. He looked like he was going to run nowhere. And he kept boxing on. He's only got 115 pounds now, and he's going to race on pace. He's not the worst, but it is a step up in class.
So Shane, Hutch is going with or trusting the Derby form. Who have you got in race number 11, one of the features on the card?
Well, the thing with HUTCHI'S tip, it's only got 117 pounds, but I'm going for horses with weight, which could be a disadvantage. There's a lot of pace in this race, I believe, and they could go quick. You got about 4 that could lead in the race if they wanted to. So I'm going Winning Wing 3 from Stunning Peach and Patch of Cosmo. He's racing well, Clint, as you know, and his Derby run was good.
Yep, it's a good race actually to close out the day. It's pretty competitive.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it will get
very good.
How it's run, like Shane said. If they go quick, it'll suit those horses.
Looking forward to that. Let's go back a couple of races. I'm loving the race names on Sunday, by the way. Race number 9 is the Helping Older Adults Age Well. So nice that they're looking out for you, Hutch.
Easy. Look, I tell you what, the Jockey Club on another note do a lot of great work for the community. I'm going to just switch focus there. I've got Aerovolanic as favourite over Sky Jewelry, Everyone's Star and Uranus Star, so a couple of stars in the mix. Look, what's interesting with Sky Jewelry, Shane, he's left no stone unturned here, John Size. He's had a series of trials, 1,100 metre. He looked probably like the early Derby favourite. He had that injury. He's had enough grounding to win this, I would say.
Yeah, well, I think he's had, 6 trials, 3 before he bled and then 3 after. This would have been the horse to beat in the Derby if he had come back and hadn't bled. Here's his trial up in China. He trialled all right. John's horses, you don't pay much attention to them in trials. They all do the same. They get back a bit and run on a bit, pushed a little. But, it's hard to get a real gauge on him because he really didn't quicken up as well as he probably should have. But I've seen him do that before, Clint.
Yeah, I think he's a hard one. I mean, The market will be interesting. I mean, it's not easy first up with weight, but we know he's got more races in him. But I think you could say the same about Era Valanic, like his performance. He's won his last couple. He maps one. He is race fit. That's why I've edged him as a marginal favourite in my early rated price. But it's going to be a good race. Now, here is Era Valanic. Shane, he had the run of the race this day. They didn't go quick. We've seen this horse progress well, and I think he should get a similar run this time around and probably prove hard to beat.
Well, what he's done his last two runs when he's won, Clint, is he's had very good last sectional 400 metres. And when you're running low 22s, it's very hard for back markers to come, as I keep saying, with Ka Ying rising. You know, you just can't beat them. And that's what he's doing. He's going to get a lovely run here, and he's going to be very hard to beat. You're a Star went better last start. He's been a bit disappointing a couple of times. He'll go forward from gate 10, and he'll just whack away. But I prefer the other one, your tip. Definitely.
Yeah, Aravalani. I think you ran a Star. Look, I didn't mind that run. Southern Ross, the horse that won there, JT's won a few in a row. He's actually undefeated. So it's not bad for him, and he's going to land on speed. He'll give himself every opportunity again.
So, Shane, are you and Hutchie singing from the same hymn book in this race number 9?
Oh, 100%. I've got him on top because he's just going to get the perfect run. Wonder Star will lead. He'll come across and either be outside him or sit one back, one out. Sky Jewelry second. Everyone's Star can definitely go better. Joe's on it, and it's going better than people quite realise. I'm a little bit worried about Sky Jewelry, Clint first up, but as I keep saying, it wouldn't be a surprise.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair call. You got that in the back of your mind, don't you? Coming back from that setback, and he is first up. The other horses are fit. I mean, I'll put it this way: if he manages to win, it'll be something pretty special because he's tackling some decent ones. And everyone's Star that Shane mentioned there, he was, let's say, set a task when he last went around. He covered more ground than you do. When you come over from Adelaide, so it was a pretty good run.
That's a nice way of putting it. And we'll round it out with a look at race number 10. Back to the 1,200 metres here, the 6 furlongs for these sharper type horses, Hutch.
Yeah, I'm going to give Super Express another chance. I liked his trial and I like the blinkers going on. I know they're dropping him back in trip. Ka Ying Attack's racing well. South Star was also, I don't think he was given a great ride the other day, but he certainly ran well in defeat. And Robot Lucky Star, talking about closing sectionals, he was outstanding when he last competed. Let's get Shane's thoughts. Firstly, Super Express, Shane. Blinkers on, back to 1,200. What do you think?
Well, I don't think he's ever raced 1,200, Clint. He's only raced 1,400. And he's had 9 starts for 2 wins and 7 seconds. So you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a horse who's going to be very consistent. The blinkers might just sharpen him up and concentrate a little bit better in a finish, but he's done nothing wrong. He's going to be very hard to beat. Here's the horse that you pointed out. I think you made it a, what do you call your ones to watch?
Yep.
Sweden defeat. He ran really, really well, South Star. He had a very wide run. He was first up for a while, and he battled on well. Now, the thing you got to remember about him, each preparation second up, that's been his best run. And I count this at second up now because he had a gap between runs before that run we watched.
Yeah, and I think, they dabbled over further, and I know he's performed well, but I think he might be better suited to the shorter distances. Shane, your thoughts?
Yeah, with the pace on. I actually agree with that. I like to see him with the pace on and him just race off the pace a little bit.
Yep.
I think that benefactors him, his style. They have trialled him going further, but I don't mind him here, that horse.
What about a horse like Gold Patch, Hutch, that goes around in this contest?
I think this is a horse that I'd say buyer beware. You look at the form guide and it says he's won 2 of 3 and he's been well supported in the market and he's got it done. And he was inconvenienced at the top of the straight this day. But when you deep dive into the performances, how they've rated in his closing sectionals, I think it might have been in this, something like the 80th best final 400 there. I'm not so sure about him, Shane, personally. I know he goes up in class with a lighter weight, and I've got some reservations about 1,000 Spirits. But Shane, what did you think of Gold Patch firstly?
Don't want to be on him. The form out of those races isn't good. Here's 1,000 Spirit. He can race well in front, and he probably should lead here. But he's going up in class, and I don't know whether he's a Class 3 horse. He's struggled in Class 3, I'd say.
With that being said, Shane, what's your verdict in race 10?
I'm going South Star number 1 on top. He could just be running 5th or 6th. He'll probably be 3 deep from the gate, but he gets his chance. Super Express, is going to go well. Ka Ying Attack, who will be forward and ran well the other day. And Robot Lucky Star, if you watch his last run, it was very, very good, and he's trialled well since. And gate 7, he'll be forward probably, I would say, but he hit the line the other day from back, a while ago now.
Yeah,
he's not the worst, Clint.
Hey, I think, Shane, do you think I think he actually went better ridden that way, like a little
Yes.
colder. He seemed like he was stronger, definitely through the line. I mean, he carried weight, and he's once again, his closing sections were outstanding.
Yeah, they were. He's the smoky in the race, that horse.
Beautiful stuff. Looking forward to Sunday. That's a look at 3 of the more interesting races. For the full assessment, jump online to HUTCHI'S Honkers. Time for a break on the Triple Trio. When we return, Star Power with the great man, Andrea Atzeni.
Leader is in Jude over the Red Hare and Smart Avenue. It's still in Jude. The Red Hare, Smart Avenue third. It's in Jude. The Red Hare, Smart Avenue coming after in Jude, but won't get him in Jude. He's cracked it for a win in Class 3, and Atzeni has another one. He had a terrific start to the day, Andrea Atzeni. Won races 2, 3 and 4, and now he's added race number 9 to that.
Star Noisy Boy and Viva Graciousness. Do Your Part has moved up to With All My Faith, who's had enough. Stormy's still there, so you will, Max Q. And now starting to drive through is Win Beauty Viva. He's coming after Do Your Part, Win Beauty Viva, Win Beauty Viva.
Some of the highlights from the best in the business. Andrea Atzeni doing his best work there in Hong Kong. We're very lucky to have him as our Star Power guest on the Triple Trio this week. Andrea, how are you, mate? Great to have you on.
Yeah, good morning, guys. Yeah, I'm doing good. Obviously, thanks for having me, and doing great. We're, it's this time of the year, we're pretty full on. We're racing and track work and whatever. Hong Kong doesn't really stop. So we've still got 3 months left of the season, so still a little while to go.
But you'd be happy the way things are going at the moment, Andrea. I mean, you've enjoyed a great season, but you've really seemed like you've got a lot of support, and you're kicking a lot of goals in the last sort of 6 to 8 weeks. The numbers read very well.
Yes, Clint, I've had when I first arrived, it was a little bit quiet for me for the first couple of months, but sort of from January onwards, things have really picked up, and the winners started to get rolling, and the support was always sort of there, even sort of when I first arrived. We just couldn't manage to get the ball rolling, and couldn't manage to get sort of a momentum going. And but anyway, since the start of the year, we managed to bag a few winners, and the winners kept coming through, and the support kept coming. And so no, I can't complain. Like I said, it's gone pretty well so far, and but we've still got 3 months left, which it's still a long way to go.
What's been the difference then, Andrea? Why is it, you mentioned it was tough early on. What's been the change?
Nothing really. It's weird because it was the same the season before. I came back, and for the first 2 to 3 months, I just couldn't really get the a momentum. Like I said, the support always sort of comes because I'm lucky that I can do those light weights. So the rides are sort of always there for me. But one thing is just trying to get some sort of momentum, which is never easy. And like I said, it was the same the season before, same in this season. What's the reason why, I'm not quite sure. But anyways, as long as we can end on a high, that's the main thing.
And this is a horse you've been going well on lately for Mark Noonan, one of many stables you're doing well for, Crimson Flash. He seemed to be absolutely flying, so is Mark for that matter.
He's brilliant, that horse. He had a really good form at the Valley. He did win over 1,000 up the straight, Sha Tin, but his form didn't read as well on over 1,200 at Sha Tin. But he ran there twice, I think, as a younger horse, and the third time when I rode him, I think I could never get out. So he had excuses. So we never thought the switch to Sha Tin was going to be an issue for him. Obviously, there's not many races that he could run at Valley anymore, so he had to come here eventually. And it was great to get his head in front. He's a tough horse, and he's been really good to me.
Jason Richardson's away this week, JT, as you know, Andrea, but he normally sits there, and one horse he loves is Young Champion. And he's followed this horse time and time again. And, he called it. He thought you could win on him this day. What you managed to do, not many have managed, but you did get him closer. How did you manage to do that?
Well, it's pretty simple. When I rode him, his head he's never really had much luck, the horse. The time before at Happy Valley, he got squeezed coming out of gates. He was a bit keen, and he probably, I'd say if he'd got a clear run, he might have even beat me on Crimson Flash. I'm not sure, but he would have definitely given me a race. And then I got him the time after, and I was drawn on the fence, and everything just worked out perfectly. Like, he's a horse that he can't rush him, and he needs the pace to be on. He actually jumped good out of the gates, and I wasn't expecting him to be that close. I was hoping to sort of be midfield, maybe even a little bit further back, because there's not a horse you can rush. But he actually sort of latched onto the bridle, and I didn't want to drag him back, and I was just hoping the pace was going to go on and able to settle. But luckily, Lukey went on a nice gallop. He travelled good into the race, and when I asked him to go, he kept responding all the way to the line. It's just the way the race planned out. I think even the other day, if things went differently, he would give me a run for his money again.
I just wanted to have a quick chat about the stables that are, obviously you've ridden a lot for John Size. 22 winners. You got for him, Pierre 15, Mark Newnham 13. So big bulk of your winners. And this is from season 2024-25 until now. So it is including somewhat of, the last probably, 18 months or something of racing. But like you said, Andre, getting good support. Is there another stable you want to ride for? Do you feel like you're getting enough support across the board?
The thing is, with me, I just want to ride for everybody. Whoever gives me rides, whoever gives me support, I'm happy to take them.
Andrea, we'll take a look at your rides. You said you're a busy man on Sunday. You've got a full book, a ride in each of the 11 races. We might take a look at a couple of them. Let's start with a horse that you know well here in Viva Shalua. What can you tell us about this horse's chances on the weekend?
Well, he came here with a rating of 82, and as you guys know, he managed to get down to 22, and he finally got his head in front. So it's like 60 pounds less before he arrived. But anyway, his trials were pretty decent on the all weather. He trialled very good the time before on the all weather, and I was very hopeful that he'd run a big race. I think he had a bit of a wind problem, so they've sort of fixed that, and he won well. So hopefully I think they handicapped him up 7 maybe or 8. So he's got a good gait again on Sunday. If he jumps clean and he gets himself into a nice rhythm, hopefully he can go again. Yeah.
I'm sure Shane will have 1 or 2 that he wants to ask, and probably 3 or 4. So Shane,
he's going to be very hard to beat. Gate 1, he's going to box seat. He should be winning again, that horse.
Okay.
You've got good rides. I liked Blossomy in race, race 6, I think it is, isn't it? It's got 4 starts for noughts, but its last run was an improving run. Have you had much to do with that?
I haven't actually, Shane, no, but I think it was his first run on the all-weather the last time, wasn't it? And he looked like he actually ran quite well. So second time, but yeah, he looks like he's taking a bit of time for him to hit a form, but there's something there. And he's got a good gait in 3, I think. So hopefully if he can get a good run around, he shouldn't be too far away.
Zupa Fellow, you won on the other day, Andrea. What did you make of his show? You mentioned David Hall. Gee, this horse, he won impressively.
Yeah, he was obviously carrying the lightweight, and see that race. There was a lot of newcomers, a lot of horses that were having the first starts in Hong Kong. Nice horses, they're all trying quite well, but it's one thing is a trial, and obviously a thing is on race day, and obviously my horse had experience. Zach's horse actually is a quite nice horse, but he was carrying top weight, and there was a tailwind on that Sunday, so. I thought if he can use his experience and obviously the lightweight, I thought our only chance was to sort of bowl along and use the lightweight with the tailwind. And like I said, there are quite a few new horses that were in the race. So I thought hopefully if they can get caught out first time, we can get away with it. And he was very tough when he ran to the line. So yeah, he's in again on Sunday. And it did it well.
Yep. Shane?
Juicy Dragon in race 7, it's going to be hard to beat. It's not a strong race. It won 2 starts ago. Last start, run second, gate 8. Can he push forward and win again?
He can. He should have won the last day, really, if we had a better draw. I was drawn 12. He jumped good and we banged him up there. I was 3 wide most of the way. And he actually, when I let him down, I felt like I was always going to beat the horse from my inside, and obviously just got caught late. But I think if we swapped the draws between me and Jerry, I would have definitely won the race. And if he gets a better run, there's definitely something left in the tank, and I was very confident he'd win the last day. But anyway, the draw didn't really help us.
Have you been on Robot Lucky Star?
I have, yes, I have. I think he's a quite nice horse. He's nice,
And
nice big horse.
What's it feel like?
Yeah, he feels like a nice big horse. He for a horse that is pretty fast, and he does everything right at home. I saddled him twice. He's very well put together, very relaxed horse. You can switch him on quite easily when you want him to. So he's obviously going back to Sha Tin over 1200, but up in class with a lightweight. He's definitely a chance too.
Hey, Andrea, before Shane asks you about the rest of your rides, I want to get some tips, but not with the horses. I'm about to become a new dad in a few months' time, and you've just welcomed your little boy Thomas into the world. How are you going balancing fatherhood with obviously racing commitments?
Well, I'm doing great. I promise you, the best thing that could ever happen to you is obviously it's all new. It's something that is very strange when it happens. To think you have your own child, and every day it's just they change. And Thomas he'll be 6 weeks on Sunday. The time does go very quick, so you got to make the most of it. And I'm enjoying it. Emma, at times, especially due.
I suppose, Andrea, on a serious note as well, I mean, living in Hong Kong, riding there, for those who don't know, it's probably attractive from the point of view, you get a bit of family time. I mean, it's 2 days a week. I know you ride work every day, but for those who don't know, you have a lot more time to spend with the family than you would if you're in the UK, for example.
Oh, for sure. Now being here, it would have been hard, when you were back at home in England or whatever, to be able to spend time with your family. Whether here, obviously we race 2 days a week, and we work most mornings, but we're at home early, so we do get a lot of time to spend with your family, which is brilliant. But it's great. It's like I said, they change every single day, and you get a lot of time to spend with them, and it's definitely a life changing for the best anyway.
When JT comes in this time next year, Andrea, don't worry, the bags will be under the eyes, the hair will be all over this place. He'll be a different man. Right. Hey, before we let you go, I've got to bring this up, Andrea. You're third on the championship in the jockeys, of course, Zach's in a race of his own, but it's an important battle for second. Hugh Bowman and you. Can you do it? Can you finish second?
I can, of course I can. It's just, it's one of those things, like I said, we've still got 3 months left. And, with me and you are very sort of similar because, we sort of bang on the winners every now and then. Some days we drew a blank, and then all of a sudden we pop with 2 and then nothing the following meeting. So we're sort of very similar position. Obviously, I can do a lot lighter than him, but he gets better rides than I do. So it's a sort of, it balances out a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see.
Be a good battle.
Andrea, thank you so much for your time on the Triple Trio today, mate. Good luck on Sunday and good luck for the rest of the season. We wish you well.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.
Well, time to look back at the week that was in global racing, and Hutch, it was a huge week here in Australia, day 2 of the championships, and the action on the track was hot. A stack of Group 1 races and plenty of highlights.
It didn't let us down, did it? No, there were a lot of features throughout the day. One of them, Shane, was I hope he wins, and I was on profoundly. But, this Kiwi has come over and Waller and McDonald magic once again, and they got it right for the main race they targeted.
Yeah, well, I thought she was very disappointing. I know what she can do. I backed her, I don't know why, because I backed her the other day, but she was disappointing. She won. Her New Zealand form's a lot better than that, Clint. She'll come back better now. I keep saying she should never have changed stables halfway through a preparation. That's just wrong, dumb. Here's changing of the guard. What a great ride this was. Like, he's a big outsider. He just rated him so well. He didn't go too slow, didn't go too fast, and he ran the 2 miles out. Great ride. Here's Zach on Idle Flyer, gave this a really good ride, raced off the pace. I'm glad Zach's winning these races like this, the Golden Slipper, and he's riding well in big races now, and he's learned how to ride them, which is great because he's one of the jockeys in Australia that's going to go ahead. There's no doubt about that, Clint.
I like the vision on 7 as well, where they showed his pre-race chat and in terms of what they thought, how the race would unfold. I think it's good to get people in the sport. And you know what it reminded me of, Shane, back in the day when I was a young whippersnapper, and I remember Shane you ran through back in the day how the Golden Slipper would be. I don't know which one it was, but you sort of went almost every furlong, and it pretty much unfolded exactly as you said. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of a rap there.
Well, I'll tell you, back in the day, Clint, I was the first jockey ever who wanted to wear a jockey cam, and they wouldn't allow me because I worked for Channel 9 and they had hooked it up, and we did everything to try and put it on my skull cap, and they went to authorities, the AJC, and begged them, and they wouldn't have it. They said it was too dangerous. Now look, everyone wears them.
Yeah, and
times have changed.
He's an innovator, our man, RSI.
Yeah, exactly. He is.
He sets the trends.
He's done a lot of things like that. But there wasn't only the talking point for the meeting. There were some big talking points.
Yeah, so we've looked at 3 of the Group 1s. I think the most anticipated race was the Queen Elizabeth, Autumn Glow, undefeated, stepping to 2,000 metres for the first time.
I've said my piece on media through the week, JT.
Yep.
I want to find out what, and I'll revisit it, but I want to see what Shane thinks firstly.
Well, I've got no idea what you said because I don't read the media. I stay out of it. She didn't stay, right? And there was nothing wrong. This was her right race. She had to run here to see whether she could or not. I thought she would. I got it wrong. I read where Chris said he got it wrong. She just didn't stay. The other thing was, do you run her in the Doncaster? She had no hope in the world of winning a Doncaster, that mare. And that filly was always going to beat her. So she went in the right race. At least they know now they can't sit her for a Cox Plate.
Yep.
So they can get that out of the head. She'll come back. She'll have a sprinting to mile preparation. She's a superstar. She's lost nothing, but I honestly thought she would run it. She had the stallion to run it, but the damn side said she wouldn't run it. John Massara got it right, 100%. But James got it wrong. Chris got it wrong. Most people got it wrong. She just didn't stay.
I thought she'd stay. And I pretty much exactly felt the same way as you, Shane, there. I mean, in terms of, she's run well because her class has taken her there, but it's not her best trip.
Yep.
She's better over shorter. We know that. And like Shane said, now they can sort of work out forward where they want to go, what races they want to target. And I know Chris was apologetic unnecessarily. Didn't need to be.
Oh, ridiculous.
Yeah, it was ridiculous because we want to see the horses race, and like now we know. But a moment to chat as well about Sir Delia, Shane. I mean, there's obviously a bit of controversy around that horse as well during the spring, but there's no doubt he's a very, very talented 2,000 metre horse.
Oh, 100%. But he had the right preparation too. His run in the Ramvet was very, very good, and he rode him back, and that was his grand final. The Ramvet wasn't, and he was trained like that. He was ridden like that, and you can see what happens when a horse is set for one event, and that's their grand final. He went to another level. Look, his spring form was outstanding in Melbourne. He probably might have won the Cox Plate. We don't know, but for the vets down there. I see this year they're going to allow him because they can't vet him unless he runs in a Melbourne Cup, and he won't be running in a Melbourne Cup. So at least we'll see him this year, hopefully, in the Cox Plate, not like last year.
Absolutely.
And they flagged, maybe international races for him. Could we see him in Hong Kong in December, off the back of the Cox Plate?
I think seriously because, they have flagged them, think they wouldn't mind travelling with him. He's a world-class 2,000 metre horse, of course, was purchased from overseas. So I think there's a big chance we could see him. Let's fingers crossed we could see him. I mean, that might be the swan song for the Warrior as well. Who knows? Although the way he's going, he might go another year. We never know.
Speaking of Sir Delia, it's time to reflect on the Whirlpool moment of the week. And it was Sir Delius' strapper here, Sagnam. So we saw the scenes. You could have heard a pin drop after Autumn Glow got beat. But this crew, they were pretty happy, it's fair to say, Hutch.
They're up and about. I love this part of the support that the Whirlpool give as well to, the hard workers out there, the strappers. It's a great incentive. We see it all around the globe at the various meetings, and it's a memorable day there for the groom or the strapper, whichever part of the world you may be from, but well done to them all.
Well, the Whirlpool action continues in Sydney on Saturday. Massive card, the final 2 Group 1s for the Sydney Autumn Carnival. And Hutch, what a day it promises to be there at Randwick.
Oh, absolutely. And hopefully the conditions will be pretty good. I believe they will be. So fingers crossed. That more often than not, I should say, in Sydney this time of year, it's sort of more miss than hit, isn't it? So no, there's some quality gallopers going out and competing, and we know a few of them through other Whirlpool meetings that we've covered in the past.
Shane, the Champagne and the All Aged, our two Group 1 features. What was your record like in those two?
Champagne, I probably won 100 times. 2-year-old race, Group 1. I think I won it about 6.
I tell you what, yeah, you asked him and you got told. He's looking.
I won it about. I think I won it about 6. I could be wrong. I don't know. I seem to win most 2-year-old races 6 times or so. The all-age stakes is about the only. I don't think I won an all-age stakes. To tell you the truth.
Okay.
Well,
I won a lot of George Main stakes.
Yeah.
But not all age.
Yeah.
But Champagne's a lot.
Well, we'll start with the Champagne then, and we can indulge some reminiscing there. But a great race. The 2-year-old ranks have been pretty even throughout the course of the season thus far. But I think Campione d'Italia, or the Italian champion, has really sort of stamped himself. And if he can win the Group 1 on Saturday, then he probably is in line for champion 2-year-old honours, I would have thought.
I think that's a fair call. I mean, he was good, very good in the slipper. Of course, he got a great ride this day, Shane, didn't he, from J-Mac? I mean, he took his time.
Yeah.
He worked his way through. And if anything, the mile's probably going to be even better.
Well, you'd think so, but he's not bred for it. He's by Schnitzel, Clint. But the same as the second horse. I thought the second horse, Miss Chanel's run was better. Had to go wider, come around them and did more work and really hit the line. But she's not bred to run it either. But as I said the other day in a podcast I did, you don't have to be bred to run a mile as a 2-year-old. Terce was, and I won many of these races. They seem to run it. It's a bit like the Derby in Hong Kong, Clint.
Yeah, no, that's a fair call. I didn't mind this run from Southend, who won. I mean, he was posted wide throughout.
Yep.
It was quite a brave performance in the end. I don't know if this is the right form or not, but arrives in winning form as well. Shane, we'll move on and we'll have a look at this form reference as well. And of course, Damon said this is probably a cog below what we've already previewed for this race, but at least a couple of them arrive in good form.
He's racing well and he might get a soft lead, the winner. I thought the second horse ran very well, the filly. She got back and hit the line. She's had a few seconds, but each time she's hit the line and she looks as though the mile's going to suit her. She's a bit of a roughie, I suppose, 15-1 or something, but she doesn't go bad. But that class was weaker than the other races we showed.
Yeah, big result for Ben Brisbane, young Victorian trainer, to have 2 runners in that Group 1, including that filly that Shane just mentioned. Shane, you can't win it this year, unfortunately, but who does win the Champagne?
I'm going to go Miss Chanel. I don't mind gate 12. They can either go back or forward on her and they'll have the opportunity from there. It's just a matter of her getting in somewhere and relaxing. The favourite, Campione d'Italia, or whatever you call it, it's going to be very, very hard to beat. We know that. He might actually race closer, Clint, from gate 4.
Think so.
And Salan, and of course Fireball's got gate 2. He'll get a good run and he'll just whack away there somewhere.
Yeah, the other thing is it's sort of hard to, some of these horses, the 2-year-olds, they can lose their form quickly, can't they? And you don't really know until the day. I think Campione d'Italia is the one to beat. I want to have Quinellas with those horses, but I think Grinsinger Heart for Ben Brisbane's a really interesting runner. We saw, with the pattern on side, settle handy at Flemington and run well. Will land on speed here. Hasn't had all these other races, and I think that's an important thing. We talk about grand finals and producing them for a race. I think that horse is a horse that can run well.
The All Age is the second of our Group 1s. This race is a cracker. A few of my favourites lining up. 1,400 metres, weight for age. Hutch, I can't wait for this one.
This is a beauty. And it's going to be a time to stand up for Jimmy Starr, who probably 6 months ago you would have said, well, he's the best sprinter 1,400 metre horse we have in the land. Shane, I'm not sure he's going. He's definitely not going as well, but he hasn't been horrible either. But how did you think Jimmy Starr would fare there on the weekend as he lines up against Angel Capital Giga Kick?
He's not going bad, but he's not going as well as he was last preparation. He's definitely a chance, but he's going to get a good track. Gate 12, he'll go back and run on. Here's Bewitched. He could get a soft lead, this horse, and he's always hard to, well, if he does what he did at Rose Hill that day in that big race, oh my God, they won't see him. But he hasn't done it since, has he, Clint?
No, Bayvakt was the horse that just blew up the clock. It was probably one of the highest rated performances of the spring that Shane mentioned. So if he turns up in that form, look out. Fangirl needs a good track. She's probably going to get it, but she might also need J-Mac.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, J-Mac goes into Angel Capital, who's drawn a good gate. You talk about D-days for horses, probably D-days for Angel Capital as well, who's threatened to win One of these big Group 1s. Shane, who wins the all-aged?
I'm going to go Angel Capital. He goes to 1400, which suits him. He's got a good gate. He seems to make excuses, but he gets his chance. Pericles is a roughie who's had no luck in any race. It's got gate 1, Craig on it. It'll run well for sure.
I'm going to go Angel Capital. It might be an each-way price, who knows, but there is a sense of timing with Angel Capital, JT. It's time to stand up for him too.
Yeah, big weekend coming up. Couple of Group 1s there, all part of the World Pool action. Time for a break on the Triple Trio. HUTCHI'S form files on the other side. Time to open up HUTCHI'S form files, and Hutch will kick it off with the Sweet in Defeat. Who's caught your eye?
Got 4 horses in total, JT. I've got Spicy Standard for Andrea, got caught a bit wide the other day. Baby Sakura copped a bit of interference. It's one of our better plays. He had excuses. 4's a Toro. We're going to have a look at a replay with that horse. And from the Wednesday, I didn't find a lot. I think Prestige Hall, if he draws a gate, can win a similar sort of race, but he's going to need to. Now, Shane, have a look. You would have seen this on the day. That horse that's highlighted here, I don't know how many lengths he missed it by, 5, 6, maybe 7, I'm not sure. But look where he's positioned here. And I don't know, with these kinds of horses, sometimes going forward, Shane, I'm a little reluctant because, you know, it's sort of like beware of the unlucky runner. You know, we all see it. Everyone wants to back it next start. But you can't deny what a massive run this was. He tacks onto the field here, Shane, and he wasn't beaten far in the air.
But Clint, he ran very well because Joe didn't rush him early. He gave him time, and that's what I've always tried to teach the kids in Hong Kong on here. When you miss the start, don't push them. Let them get into the stride. There's nothing worse than a horse being pushed out of the gates when he misses it. And Joe saved ground, and he gave this a lovely ride. I backed this horse 3 starts ago at Happy Valley, and he had every possible chance, and he went up to win and he didn't hit the line, and he was very disappointing. And he has been disappointing, but this was a huge run.
Yeah, to miss it by that far. I think, like you said, he tacked on without working too hard. I think the fence was better. That they probably went quick enough, and Joe made a bad situation as good as it could possibly be.
100%.
I'll give him another chance. I still think he's worth following. I mean, he hasn't been beaten far there, and you'd hope he'd jump on terms. But, yeah, sometimes you've got to be a bit careful of that type of horse in terms of missing the start. I mean, that can be a bit awkward itself.
Yeah, I think that's the definition of Sweet in Defeat, that horse that goes in. As far as your top-rated performances, was there one that sort of caught your eye?
Yeah, we had some reasonably big numbers, of course, and, you know, my Mars has put up a solid performance here, and it's not a massive number, about 77. Shane, this is incredible. There wasn't any market support for him. He'd only had a run, I think, as a 2-year-old overseas in the Northern Hemisphere, and there were some pretty decent horses here. And to come out and win
Well, I'm an absolute idiot because I liked him a lot, but on his trials were excellent. On his trials, he could win. But how many European horses win first up over 1400? They just don't do it. And I gave that a big negative, you know. I didn't back him. But if you go back and have a look at my comments, he could win. But I'm an idiot. I should have. Should have. Put it this way, if it was Australian horse, I probably would have. But those Europeans, as you know, Clint, they need time, don't they?
Yeah, they can do. And, David Hayes has him, and there was another nice horse who'd won in New Zealand on debut in that race. I think it'll be a good form reference, and there's a couple there worth following. But my Mars was the one that flew the flag. Could be. You
got a good ride too, Clint.
Yeah, lovely ride from Brenton.
Speaking of good rides, and he's just called himself an idiot, so I'm going to have to pump up his tyres again. We like to call him the idol, Shane Dye.
Yes.
It's time to check out some of the rides that caught his eye this week. Shane, we'll start with an eye-catching ride from the Magic Man, Joe Moreira, who's wasted no time making his presence felt back in Hong Kong.
Well, it was easy to pick this. If we have a look, I'll take you through why it was so good. He had gate 8. And he wanted to go forward a bit on this, as you can tell. You see him out of the gates, he goes to go forward. He quickly realises Sack's on the grey horse inside of him, and he knows he's not going to get in. So you watch here, he starts to look behind, and he says, I'm coming back to get in. And you can see him look twice, 2, 3 times there before the winning post, and he says, I'm going back. I don't want to be 3 deep outside of Zach. So he actually goes to the fence up here, and he's got the horse relaxed. Now, if you wait till you get into the back, and the drone shot's a good shot, you'll see it there. He comes out 3 to 4 wide when Zach comes out to go forward to follow the grey horse who was favourite, which is Zach. We're going to get into the back now. There's Joe, last fence, and he comes out to go forward here and follow Zach, which most people would have, and all of a sudden he said, no, bugger that, I'm going back in, and there's no room back in. But he forces back in here to go one off the fence to get up there. That's part of winning the race, and there's no room, but he does. That's huge what he's did there, and he's also going to save ground now. He's gambling, and he hasn't gone round them, but to win on a horse like that, you've got to gamble, because if he had gone round them, he couldn't have won. But now watch in the straight. He cuts the corner. There's not a lot of room in front of him, but he bides his time before he actually goes for them and lets them open up. And they start to open up. He puts 2 around him. He picks a spot. Where can I go now? Shifts out a little bit. Not a lot of room. Drives through. And boom, switches stick into, puts it back into that hand, or it was always there. Hits it, and he gets up there. That's a great ride. A perfect ride, boys.
Oh, that's one of the best rides I've seen in recent years. Honestly, that's unbelievable. What he did down the back, go inside, and to sort of urge a horse, Shane, where there wasn't really a run there. You know, there was never really a run on the inside. So there's not many jockeys that ride that horse and win on it. That's all I know.
He couldn't have won going around them. Just going back to the rides there, Huey Bowman got 2 on Storming Dragon because that horse I had going back, and all of a sudden he changed instructions, or his mind, because the leader was scratched at the gates and he dug like anything and went forward. So that was outstanding. Very good ride. Brendan rode My Mars really well and rode 3 winners. Harry Bentley rode a double and rode well. And Nicola, she's going good. I think she's had 4 winners from 16 rides, Clint. She's going well.
Yeah, no, she's going well. There's no question about that. And Joe's only been there a couple of meetings. He's creeping up already, but he's got a lot of ground to make up.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to be catching Zach at the top there. He's starting from a low base, but making an impact pretty quick.
But boys, the best ride of the week, and it was better than Joe's by a long way.
Here we go.
Was no, it was. You go and watch it. You got to watch it on YouTube. Was Paul Townsend in the Grand National.
Okay.
I've got a video of it here. Now, this was the greatest race in the world once upon a time, but the goody goods have destroyed it a little bit. He's in a white cap on the inside on a horse called I Am Maximum. There, it's highlighted. He doesn't leave the fence at any stage, and he actually brushes the fence on the inside at times. This is the greatest race, this. I love this race. I used to get up in the 60s and the 70s and watch it on TV in New Zealand, black and white. They used to have the FA Cup final, Wimbledon, and the Grand National live on TV. Now, he stays on the fence the whole way. And this here, you see that fence coming up here, that's called Breaches Brook. And why it's unbelievable, Breaches Brook, is when they take off, they're high up, but when this is it again, the second lap, when they land, the ground is lower. And it's called Breaches Brook because the first race was run in 1986. And the leader fell, and the jockey saw all the horses were going to jump, and his name was Martin Breacher, so he hid under the fence. And that's why it's called Breaches Brook.
That's amazing.
Here it is coming down the outside. This is a great race, Clint.
It is. I Am Maximus, of course, won it. So I think he's won it twice now, and he ran second the other time. So he's obviously a talented horse, but to do it with the weight, I did watch the race, and it was a fantastic ride, Shane. You're absolutely right. So. An iconic race. It's
if people want to watch the whole race, just go to YouTube and watch it. But the great thing about that race, Clint, is I don't think Chinese who watch the show quite understand about it. It was the greatest race in the world. But you can go back to a horse called, I'll tell you one, the Queen Mother had a horse. Watch this. And it was unbelievable. It's a horse called Devon Lock. Watch this. This is the Queen Mother's horse, and this is back in 1956, and it's going to win for sure. Watch this. It's home. It's going to win, and watch what it does. It slips, and it sits down.
Wow. I haven't seen that before. That's another way to
It's unbelievable.
That's another way to get
now, Clint and James, guess who was on it? Guess who was on it?
Who?
The jockey was Dick Francis.
Okay.
And Dick Francis is one of the greatest writers of all time, and he wrote 42 crime novels on racing, which all broke records. And he
read a
gave
couple
up
of them,
writing.
actually.
Have you?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's quite incredible, the race. So if any Chinese don't know, go and get a couple of those books. They're about crime and it's racing, and he based it on racing, and they're really good. But here's another race, boys.
He's got
Watch
another
this
one.
one.
I couldn't believe what I just saw.
This
in the
is
last
an
one.
Australian horse. This is an Aussie horse called Crisp.
Yes.
You watch how far he is, and that's Red Rum second. There's no horses further back. Now, I'm going to leave you to the commentary. This is an Australian horse who went over for it.
And Chris just wandering a little off a true line now. He's beginning to lose concentration. He's been out there on his own for so long. And Red Rum is making ground on him still as they come to the line. It's a furlong to run now. 200 yards now for Crisp, and Red Rum still closing on him, and Crisp is getting very tired. And Red Rum is pounding after him. Red Rum is the one that's finishing the strongest. He's going to get up. Red Rum is going to win the National. And at the line, Red Rum has just snatched it from Crisp, and Red Rum is the winner.
Red Rum had 23 pounds less than Crisp, and that was his first Grand National win, Red Rum. And he went on to win 3 and have 2 seconds. It's a great race with history. But that horse, Crisp, he won 2 Hiskin hurdles in Melbourne, before he went over.
Big names there.
Yeah, we're clearly indulging a bit of a passion for
What we've got to do, Daisy, we've got to
racing.
get you down. I've got to get you down to Warrnambool. We've got the jumps coming up in Victoria next. We'll get you down. You like your jumps racing, mate? Come down. We'll look after you.
Oh, it's fantastic, but unfortunately the goody goods are trying to kill it like they do with everything.
Hey, Shane, just quickly, if you were one of the characters in a Dick Francis novel, would you be the villain or would you be the hero?
I know.
As long as I was in it, it wouldn't matter.
Still thinking about the poor punters that backed that horse that decided to do the splits at the 100 metres.
But that was the Queen's mother's horse.
Incredible.
I have to give a shout out too to my dad. He's sitting in a hospital room recovering. He'll be watching the show. He's had some routine surgery, but he was a big Dick Francis fan as well. So he passed down a few of the novels. So that's why I'm familiar with his work. That was a walk down memory lane looking at some iconic jumps races. Time for a break on the Triple Trio. We come back and we wrap it all up. A big episode to finish. All right, some things that have caught our eye across social media in the last few days, and Hutch, we'll start with some exciting news for you. Disappointing for me, I've missed out again.
You have. We have sold out, of course, for our trip at the end of the season. So thanks for all the support. Can't wait to take everyone later in the year. And you can register your interest, I suppose, JT, for the following year. But no, we're sold out, so we can't wait to get there up to Hong Kong for the international meeting in December. Yeah,
Richo said he might get me along to carry his bags or something like that. We move on to some more exciting news, and that is the lineup, or the likely lineup for a huge meeting next Sunday, and you'll preview it next week on the Triple Trio, but cannot wait for Champions Day.
Oh, it's going to be an absolute beauty. Sheen Murphy's going to ride there, Connor Beasley, of course, Christophe Lemaire, who's just an absolute force to be in Japan, of course. Yuga Kawada will come over. And Mark Zara is going up to ride Docklands, of course, for the ITI people as well. So good luck to all that. Great names, great horses racing next week in Hong Kong.
Speaking of big World Pool meetings, Royal Ascot is just that. We're going to have plenty of Australian participation this year, including Overpass.
On the back of our success over the years, but probably more so as Fura winning.
Yeah.
Now a lot of people want to have a little piece of the pie.
Yeah, it's worth having a crack.
Yeah. Björn, of course, great trainer. Another Kiwi who's dominating. And no doubt we'll give him an Aussie flag and say, you got to fly this while you go over.
And some sad news. One of the champs of yesteryear in a horse that plied his trade successfully in Hong Kong, Falvalon, left us during the week.
Not sure if Shane was there for his wins, but I was.
I was.
He was, there wasn't the depth probably these days, generally speaking, but well trained and produced to the minute. And they got it right here, Shane Falvalon.
Actually, that's me third on All Thrills too, coming down the outside. He probably should have won. I just got a touch too far back that day on him, actually. He should have won. That was the first year I was in Hong Kong, or the second year, yeah. He was a good sprinter, but did you see the prize money he won? 3.9 million. Today it would have been bloody 15 million or something.
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah, it would have been. Fair call.
Might have won an Everest and plenty more. Hey, let's finish with our best bets for the weekend. To So we've had a look at a big Sunday of racing at Sha Tin. Hutch, we had a look at those 3 races, but across the card, where are your best bets?
Well, it's a mixed meeting, so we've got quite a number of races on the dirt, and I try to stay away from those, generally speaking, as far as the best is concerned. I really like Super Express. He's been super consistent. I like the gear change. I actually don't mind him coming back to 1,200 metres. I'm not concerned about the wide draw. I think Brenton Abdullah can get it done. And outside of that, Era Valanik is a horse I think that's really flying at the moment. There might be a little bit more extra value in the Quinellas there as well.
Shane, send us home with a winner.
Well, race 2, number 9 should win again. Viva Chaleur. Gate 1 will box seat. And I'll go also race 4, number 7, Francis McNeil. Gate 3 before went well. It's going to be hard to beat. There's a couple. Yep. Good luck, boys. Have a great weekend.
You just want
and
to roll.
Back many a winner.
Yeah, we'll try and do that, Shane, absolutely. And JT, thanks very much today. You did a superb job once again.
My pleasure, Hutch and Dicey. Great to be with you on the Triple Trio. We'll do it all again next week as we build up to a massive Champions Day.